Hey, what's going on, guys? I wanted to touch on this topic with Melchizedek in Genesis 14, verse 18. And this is after Abraham came back from rescuing his nephew Lot and rescuing Sodom and Gomorrah. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was priest of the Most High God. And that's what I want to get into, the Most High God. And he blessed him and said, Bless Abraham of the Most High God, possessing of heaven and earth. So when you look at this right here, the word God, and let's put it in words which will be more relatable to today. The word gods mean power, power over a thing. And for instance, as a child, God it will be your father or your mother, whoever has power over you. When you go to school, your teacher, authority figures, there'll be a God that have power over you. So Abraham blessed, and he blessed him, and he said, Blessed be Abraham of the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth. In other words, it will be more in the terms that we can understand today. Melchizedek will say, Abraham, you're blessed by the highest power that governs all things which are in heaven and earth. Heaven will be the spiritual realms. So heaven, spiritual realms, worlds that govern the physical world. And earth is the plane that we're in now. So he's basically saying, you're blessed of the highest power which rules over and governs the heavens, the spiritual worlds with an S, and this earth, and the worlds within the earth. And that's the Most High. The Most High is the highest source of power that governs all things. So being that the Most High is the highest source of power, he's everyone's father. Everyone is subject to him. Everyone is beneath him because he's the highest source of power. So that's what I wanted to, sorry about that. That's what I wanted to discuss, because understand when we see God, God is power. I remember I was asleep. It was around maybe 3 in the morning, and something wakes me out of my sleep, and I hear a voice say, "Praise the living power." So I get up and I face the east and I praise God. And when I praise God, my eyes are closed and a vision came, and I saw a man with a white light and smoke coming out of his eyes and his mouth, and I kept praising God, and I went back to sleep. But the voice that came to me, that woke me up out of my sleep, it said, "Praise the living power." Because the Most High is the Most High God, the Most High of powers. He's the highest power. He's the highest source of power. So therefore, all things are subject to him. Okay, all worlds, all heavens are subject to his authority. And this is why, Abraham, Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he blessed him and said, "Bless Abraham of the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth." Now, in other words, we can say, um, Abraham is blessed by the highest power, which governs all things, which governs the spiritual world and the physical world, which governs all things that exist. Because sometimes we get confused when we see the word God, because there are many gods. Okay, it says that Satan is the god of this world, and what does that mean? Satan is an authority figure over this earth and the heaven. Like the earth, see, the earth has a heaven, a spiritual world that governs it. And within that heaven, that spiritual world, there are many principalities, there are many authority figures, there are many different things, okay? And Satan has control over that. If the Most High says, Al, I'm going to give you great power, and he says, I want you to go create a whole planet, and I want you to put life into it. When I create a planet and put life into it, I'm also going to create a heaven that has a spiritual hierarchy that's going to govern the life. So what does that mean? Uh, Human health, human activities is going to be governed by a principality. Sex is governed by a principality and things of that nature. And so now the Most High is so unique because the Most High is the source of power that's the highest above all things. And that's the way that he intended it. So when you see the word God, gods, these are powers, power. Once again, when I was sleeping, it woke me out of my sleep. It said, praise the living power. It didn't say praise the living God. Because at first, this voice was talking to me in a language I couldn't understand. I couldn't understand the language. And when the voice understood that I didn't understand the language, sorry, that's when the voice translated to English. So the voice was speaking in a language I couldn't understand. And when the voice realized that because the voice got my subconscious and my conscious attention at once, and when the voice realized that I didn't understand what it was saying, the voice immediately translated to English. It said, praise the living power, source of energy, which is the Father. And when you mention the Father, you always have to say the Most High God, the Most High power, the highest power that governs all things. Now I say all things because with all things, there's nothing that can be missed. So maybe there's realities that we can't comprehend. So when we say all things, immediately the things that we can't comprehend fits into all things. Things, worlds are things, humans, things. So we say, Most High, power of powers, power over all things, power over all worlds, power over all things, the living power. Now, why is the Most High the living power when all things are alive? Everything vibrates, everything lives. The picture you paint is alive. The reason why the Most High is called the living power because he decides what is effective and what is not effective. Rocks are alive, but we don't consider them to be effective because they just sit still. Okay, pictures are alive, but we don't consider them as effective as a moving hand because pictures sit still. So the Most High is the living power because he is the one who moves all things into action. All things are action to be. Us humans are greater actions. Even greater than storms, because in a moment a storm is born and in a couple of days a storm dies. But humans, we change the course of events. So I just wanted to mention that because whenever you see God, understand that God is powers. So, a little child, your God will be your authority figure. If you're in prison, your God will be the prison guard. You're on the job, your God will be your boss, your manager, because these are people that have power over you, authority figures, powers. And over this heaven and this earth, God will be Satan. But remember the Most High God, the highest power is in charge of all things. So we have to remember that. But this just caught my eye with Melchizedek and Abraham after the slaughter. The Most High is in total control. Sometimes we get a little winded. Like, man, but we gotta realize that the Most High is the one who's doing it because of the lesson in it. Something for us to understand.